I'm Lee Morris.
And I'm Patrick Hall.
Together we created fstoppers.com, and we have teamed up with Elia Licardi to create the most in-depth tutorial on all things landscape and cityscape photography.
Join us as we take you behind the scenes and around the world to over 7 unique countries in our quest to find the perfect landscape photographs.
In this episode, we make it all the way to Iceland, Patrick overdresses, and our first video shoot is a total disaster.
This whole journey started back in the summer of 2014, where Lee and I, along with our buddy Igor, traveled to Photokina, the largest photo convention in the world. It was in the basement of a German Bavarian beer house that I first met Elia Licardi. Elia is a very interesting character. He and his wife have sold all of their possessions and have been traveling the world for 3 years straight, shooting nothing but landscape photography. After hearing Elia's incredible stories from around the world, I knew F-Stoppers had to work with him on some sort of landscape tutorial. Little did I know that in just 3 months, Elia was going to take us around the world twice to over 7 different countries for the most incredible experience of my entire life.
We are just now getting packed up to go to Iceland. I want you guys to see Patrick's shoes. Patrick, what are you wearing?
These are my all-terrain weather snow boots that are good for minus 20 degrees. So,
what do you think of Patrick's shoes?
Moon boots.
I have a serious question though. Yeah. Are your feet warm right now?
So warm.
As always, we tried to book the cheapest flight possible, but we made a bit of a mistake this time. We failed to realize that we had a 7-hour layover in New York City. Luckily, we have an apartment in New York, and we have a couple flights.
I would like to point out that every single time we go through security, at least 50% of the TSA employees make some sort of comment on your shoes.
The other guy was like, "Where are you coming from, Buffalo?" I was like, "No, Charleston."
We finally got on our flight, and 6 hours later, we finally ended up in Reykjavik, Iceland.
We're on a bus at the moment. We're about to go to some bus station, then we're going to get picked up in a car. I don't even know where we're going. Nowhere.
Once we arrived, we got to meet with the entire crew. This is Elia, the photographer himself. This is Naomi, Elia's wife, and she's going to be joining us throughout this entire adventure. This is Siggy. Siggy is our professional photography guide here in Iceland. He knows all of the secret spots, and he also knows everything you could possibly want to know about the Northern Lights. But most of all, Siggy is basically a comedian, and we all found him absolutely hilarious.
Have you ever seen shoes like that in your life?
Yes, I did see it on photographs. That was 1969 when Neil Armstrong was on the moon.
We spent our first day in the Icelandic capital basically just sightseeing. We were able to test all of our microphones and cameras. We took the drone out for a few test flights, and I even got to test out my waterproof boots. So already day one, and we found a good practical purpose for these boots. I can just go out here.
This is the only reason why you would need those. It was really cool to see the city, but it was time to hit the road. We decided to start moving to our next location, but in the middle of the night, we decided to stop off at a really pretty church to shoot some nightscapes.
All right, it's night one of us being here. We were on a ride up to the wherever we're staying. I don't know.
Snæfellsnes.
What?
Snæfellsnes.
Snuffleupagus.
Yep.
And the Northern Lights are coming out, and it's really pretty. There's a really cool church here. Sadly, though, it's obviously pitch black outside, so we're trying to figure out how we're going to film this for the video, make it entertaining and educational and fun to watch. It's just a big lighter that you stick in your pocket and let it burn, and it just doesn't seem safe. It doesn't seem like it's going to get oxygen. How can this not catch?
This location was never meant to be part of the actual tutorial, but it was still really cool to get to see the night sky so clearly, and it was really cool to get some shots for our own personal collection.
We're up before dawn, which luckily is like 10:30 a.m. And basically this is the first day of filming. We're just going to be figuring out a lot of our gear, seeing if our new microphones can handle the insane winds here, see if our clothes can handle the cold, see if Patrick's boots can fly him to the moon.
Now at this point, everything is going really well. We're all caught up on sleep, we have epic scenery in front of us, and Elijah is just incredible on camera. But the one thing we failed to anticipate was just how quickly the weather could change in western Iceland.
And behind me I have this onslaught of rain that I know is going to come in. So I'm trying to get the shot as quick as possible before that window closes and I get soaked. Alright, let's do it, alright. Holy shit! Alright, so I actually cannot look at the camera right now. I think we're still recording audio. Also why we buy 100% windproof layers. So when you're coming to places like Iceland, it's better to just go ahead and invest in the clothes that you know are going to work.
So the hail is coming and going. Now it's kind of just sprinkling, but just a second ago there was huge amounts of hail.
Yeah, so what is it, the weather forecaster on the Family Guy would say, it's raining sideways!
I think we got the shot. We got the interview.
We're done, huh?
The whole lesson's been taught. I think anybody can come out here now and get an amazing photograph after the things we just taught.
I totally agree. In fact, we should just throw in the towel for the rest of it and get coffee instead.
Or just done.
Yeah, I feel that satisfied.
The video is complete. We gotta hike all this gear back out of here.
So the first day of filming was a total failure, but we weren't ready to stop there. We got up the next morning and did it all over again. In order to make any tutorial as interesting as possible, you really need to film a lot of B-roll. And what exactly is B-roll? It's just shots of Elijah walking, panning shots of the location, moving jib shots, time-lapse. It's just interesting material that you can always cut back to advance the story. So it was really important with each location that we created enough B-roll footage that we would make this tutorial not only interesting, but also able to flow smoothly.
Now we're working on some moving jib shots. This is one of the coolest pieces of gear that we have. This is the Kessler Crane pocket jib. And when you see how small this thing actually can break down, it is incredible. Patrick has very expensive and wet counterweight here. We didn't bring any weights with us because we want to travel as light as possible, so we're just trying to use what we've got.
Working well so far.
Do you want to help me get, I think a shot that could be cool is if we could mount this just over the hill and kind of do like a reveal looking back at him.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I'm heading back to the van right now to go get the drone. There's not as much wind today, so I'm gonna try to get some shots of the scene with the helicopter. And I've already broken 2 helicopters in water. Let's hope I will not fly this into the water. yesterday during filming, we didn't have any trouble with other people because I guess it was just blizzarding all day. But now, it's a really popular spot, and so we're trying to film everything and have it still make sense with what we filmed yesterday, but not have all these different people around.
Just as we thought the crowds are going to ruin our shoot, good old Mother Nature came back to the rescue.
It's funny, you can actually see, look how nice it is over here, and then we can say, oh my gosh, look behind us, it's coming! And in about 30 seconds, we're gonna be hit with rain and sleet again.
This is bad. This is not good.
In between the rain and sleet, we decided to show you guys a little bit about how we record audio.
So we have one, looks like we're a little, let me borrow your head. There we go, there we go.
Original technique, by the way.
Yeah, so this is a Sennheiser mic in here, and we have taped on one of the little foam patties to help with wind and rubbing and stuff, and we just have that attached to the inside underneath his coat jacket. Over here, this is a Rode microphone, and we have the little Dead Cat wind dampener, and this is going to be outside of his jacket. And then what we do is we have inside of his coat, we have two separate transmitters that are running to two separate cameras. We are also wearing headphones the entire time so that we know exactly the sound quality that we're getting.
It's really cool, they fit right on the hot seat too. So, no dangling transmitters or anything, just put it up there, and it's pretty portable.
Are you ready? Let's do it. Rolling, give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Perfect.
So we've been out here in this location shooting all day from sunrise now till sunset. You can see through this frame that it's still very nice.
For more information on this entire tutorial, head over to fstoppers.com/EliaLicardi and stay tuned for next week's episode when we knock out 4 separate lessons in 4 incredible locations. I make a new friend, and we visit one of the most incredible landscapes that I have ever seen before.